That's how we're going to trade out.
Shoot-a-doo.
Okay. Get a picture of Bobby on the video. There you go.
You see the picture of her over there.
Hold this.
Smile, buddy.
Y'all stay there because Mom's coming up here.
Serve y'all's food real quick, and if you don't have anything to drink, we're gonna be around just to let you know what we have is tea, Sprite, Coke, Diet Coke. Okay? We're missing 6 people. So what's it?
We'll figure it out when we serve them.
If y'all are asking what's what in the little cups, we have $1,000 brands and Italian dressing. Please start eating, and we'll be around. Do y'all's food, okay?
Potatoes. I got it. There you go.
Hey, Lauren. Hey, Lauren. Go film another time. Mr. Ed gave it to the puppy and said, "This is home. Give it to
Stop. Whoa.
It's little Willows.
You got sparkle stuff all over. Me? Okay, no No, ma'am.
I see you. You playing T-ball this year? You're not. You don't want to play T-ball?
I can't.
Why can't you play T-ball?
She's too old to play
Or
T-ball.
are you playing softball this year?
Ballet and church. 2 days a week. No, yeah, 2 days a week.
I was looking forward to umpiring for you again this year.
Maybe next year.
I'll look forward to that.
That's it. That's good.
Hey, where you going?
Sean, you had enough? I got more, baby.
I ain't through it.
Auburn.
Those potatoes were cooked by somebody.
What's so funny? Was there something in my nose? You got me on camera? Good.
We're gonna pass these out there.
Go film the kids. Where'd it come from?
I just want to bite of yours.
Y'all okay up
Bite of yours. Probably it's just one. She's cute, I think. Is that your mom's?
Weren't you already over here one time?
Yeah, I would say you can tell that's yeah, he's not eating.
You want a tomato? Tomato?
So, Chris, was Laura not invited? Was Laura not invited?
Nice, not allergic. The way he walks.
What time was that?
You have to tell you that later. Hey.
I'm gonna have to do that next week. Because you got some, I mean,
Why? Why?
But you gotta go.
Hey, where's all the boys at?
Put the 6'4" in the back.
Yeah, back to school. Gibson, we can go. All the way
Senior football players.
Well, Clinton, I can't see you.
Hey, look for me. Okay, y'all start down that way. Look at them. And then y'all look this way. I don't get one. That way.
I got that inside.
Get one of them right.
Let's try as hard not to get that in.
Flash bounce off. Yeah, I should never be in a front.
Years from now, you come to the house and, oh, see those pictures, man.
Oh man, I'm gonna be wanting to see them tonight.
You will. Not a problem.
It's like a wedding.
Here's a cute
Everybody
couple.
walks out in line.
This is a cute couple here.
We'll see you there.
Yes, we will.
SummerSlam.
This prom, and we say to the seniors, good job, good job. Now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the class officers for the class of 2002. Here they come. Your class president for the class of 2002 is Miss Rachel Peroni. She is escorted by Mr. Rocky Beaudry. Vice President is Miss Stephanie Salter. She is escorted by Mr. Taylor McLean. Tish Rockwell, Class Secretary, escorted by Mr. Rachel Bird.
Rachel.
Cersei, Secretary, escorted by Ryan Ulrich.
I think that's backwards, isn't it?
Way to go, Miss Secretary!
Miss Donna Green, escorted by Mr. Mark Cepeko. Miss Sarah Creed, escorted by Mr. Jonathan Bird. Miss Vanessa Harden, escorted by Mr. Kent Owing. Miss Danielle Miller, escorted by Mr. Glenn Williams. Miss Irma Scott, escorted by Mr. Barry Duckworth. Miss Keisha Smith, escorted by Mr. Colin McLean. Miss Jessica Combs, escorted by Mr. Lance O'Neill. Miss Heather Williamson, escorted by Mr. Lee Ingram. Miss Tiffany Savoy, escorted by Mr. Benjamin Moon. Miss Amber Watson, escorted by Mr. Chris Lassard. Miss Karen Cross, escorted by Mr. Byron Givens. Miss Tabitha Turman, escorted by Mr. Josh Johnson. Miss Jessie Whitaker, escorted by Mr. Bart Lipscomb. Miss Brooke Toller, escorted by Mr. Josh Richards. Miss Stephanie Harris, escorted by Mr. Chris Howell. Miss Amber Lassiter, escorted by Mr. J.J. Darby. Miss Jessica Milliken, escorted by Mr. Ryan Fuquay. Miss Stephanie Brooks, escorted by Mr. Todd Hull.
That's Todd. Oh.
Miss Mirandy Robinson, escorted by Mr. Joseph Abrego. Miss Marie Pace, escorted by Mr. Jonathan Abrego. Miss Charisse Giles, escorted by Mr. John Lassiter. Miss Teresa Lozana, escorted by Mr. Stephen Grant. Miss Lindsay McCracken, escorted by Mr. Anthony Cheney. Miss Lindsay Sturm, escorted by Mr. Kyle Newkirk. Miss Jessica Myrick, escorted by Mr. Mark Devine. Miss Crystal Riggins, escorted by Mr. Michael Call. Miss Megan White is escorted by Mr. Robbie Klein. Miss Ashley Jansen, escorted by Mr. Jacob Ojeda. Miss Marcia Ackerman, escorted by Mr. Evan Davis. Miss Jamie Miller, escorted by Mr. Dennis Hawkins. Miss Ashley Odom, escorted by Mr. Chad Eubanks. Miss Samantha Steiner, escorted by Mr. Nathan Galloway. Miss Anna Mizell, escorted by Mr. Justin Duggar. Miss Stephanie Barlow, escorted by Mr. Lane Clements. Miss Amy Cotton, escorted by Mr. Willard Childress. Miss Dana DeLaura, escorted by Mr. Gene Lowry. Miss Patty Milam, escorted by Mr. Adam Calloway. Miss Joyce Aldridge is escorted by Mr. Evan Michael Carter. Miss Christy Jackson, escorted by Mr. Obi Trotter. Miss Ashley McDonald, escorted by Mr. Jesse Day. Miss Emily Teal, escorted by Mr. Chris Defoe. Miss Crystal Austin is escorted by Mr. Sean Marcette. Miss Elizabeth Hudson. She is escorted by Mr. Alan Campbell. Miss Melissa Gerard, escorted by Mr. James Green. Miss Jennifer Rayleigh, escorted by Mr. Brian DeBrava. Miss Brooke Wiggins, escorted by Mr. Chris Shavers. Miss Tashana Waddle, escorted by Mr. Christopher Lakin. Miss Alicia Darling, escorted by Mr. Kevin Faint. Miss Shannon Denham, escorted by Mr. Keith Faint. Miss Casey Colwell, escorted by Mr. Jason Egbrecht. Miss Susan Lee, escorted by Mr. Patrick Rose. Miss Dana Garrett, escorted by Mr. Jim Richards. Miss Sharisa Cheney, escorted by Mr. Paul Demery. Miss Jessica Lorez, escorted by Mr. Marcus Easterling. Miss Emily Calhoun, escorted by Mr. Will Stidham. Miss Lindsay Paturas, escorted by Mr. Adam Newton. Miss Mallory James, escorted by Mr. Brandon Gill. Miss Nisa Webb, escorted by Mr. Ricky Gordon. Miss Rachel McClendon, escorted by Mr. Jason Forland. Miss Jana Jackson, escorted by Mr. Blake Yarbrough. Miss Jamie Thomas, escorted by Mr. Andrew Beaudry. Miss Alicia Crawford, escorted by Mr. Presley Morgan. Miss Amanda Crawford, escorted by Mr. Michael Stump. Miss Kara Johnson, escorted by Mr. Josh Dickerson. Miss Jennifer Belote, escorted by Mr. Ryan Gibson. Miss Lisa Jones, escorted by Mr. Kurt Hellman. Miss Rebecca Odom, escorted by Mr. Robert Willett. Miss Patricia Carter, escorted by Mr. DeWitt Gray. Miss Bethany Harris, escorted by Mr. Brett Baker. Miss Lauren Woodburn, escorted by Mr. Evan Watson. Miss Elizabeth Lott, escorted by Mr. Eric Humphrey. Miss Sabrina Phillips, escorted by Mr. Justin Luyer. Miss Rebecca Plunkett, escorted by Mr. Jason Sansbury. Miss Miranda Carden, escorted by Mr. Tad Hosford. Miss Kendall Murphy, escorted by Mr. Carl Wade. Miss Tiffany Ellison, she is escorted by Mr. Dustin Coleman. Miss Tara Burke, she is escorted by Mr. Lane Mitchell. Miss Laura Riegstrom, escorted by Mr. Daniel Fields. Miss Amber Gaither, escorted by Mr. Nathan McLean. Miss Nicole Brown, escorted by Mr. Jim Boris. Miss Stephanie Harrell, escorted by Mr. Tavares Cook. Miss Leanne Spears, escorted by Mr. Michael Stokes. Miss Lauren Stevenson, escorted by Mr. Clint Shute. Miss Natalie Rose, escorted by Mr. Dustin Cook. Miss Haley Castro, escorted by Mr. Dave Johnsey. Miss Kristen Goodwin, escorted by Mr. Jason Wiltz. Miss Jessica Stoffaker, escorted by Mr. Greg Plant. Miss Angela Dilly, escorted by Mr. Stephen Wren. Miss Samantha Bell, escorted by Mr. Eric Childress. Miss Ashley Gonzalez, escorted by Mr. Josh Heathcock. Miss Emily Pitts, escorted by Mr. Nathan Simmons. Miss Emily Davis, she is escorted by Mr. Mark Pickering. Laurie Dent, escorted by Mr. Chris Helton. Miss Tabitha Leckner, escorted by Mr. Buster Foley. Miss Kelly Godwin, escorted by Mr. Jason Douglas. Miss Brandy Harris, escorted by Mr. Calvin Kennedy. Miss Danica Dixon, escorted by Mr. Corey Burrows. Miss Renee Steiner, escorted by Mr. Stephen Christensen. Miss Beth Smith, escorted by Mr. Anthony Byers. Miss Kathy Parnell, escorted by Mr. Andrew Waters. Miss Devin Thames, escorted by Mr. Shane Mitchell. Miss Katie Green, escorted by Mr. Brandon Turner. Miss Catherine Worsham, escorted by Mr. Jared Meyer. Miss Kristen Duffy, escorted by Mr. Shane Brown. Miss Michelle Leckner, escorted by Mr. Justin Lee. Miss Sherilyn Folsom, escorted by Mr. Joe Boynton. Miss Erin Anderson, escorted by Mr. Lee Foreman. Miss Christy Turner, escorted by Mr. Steve Miller. Miss Ashley Walker, escorted by Mr. Nick Beisel. Miss Amber Archer, escorted by Mr. Paul Nickerson. Miss Sarah Beth LaBock, escorted by Mr. Taylor English. Miss Mallory Duran, escorted by Mr. Joseph Murphy. Miss Carrie Jackson, escorted by Mr. Robbie Wright. Miss Amanda Concannon, escorted by Mr. Patrick Thrasher. Miss Jill Hewitt, escorted by Mr. Louis Evanoff.
Want someone to drink? You just give me some.
Miss Starla Patterson Mosley, escorted by Mr. Robert Mosley. Miss Misty Fitkin, escorted by Mr. Jamie Russell. Miss Rachel Stanford, escorted by Mr. Joshua Thomas. Miss Veronica Gill, escorted by Mr. Robert Stanton. Miss Lindsay Paturas, escorted by Mr. Darius Anderson. It is now my pleasure to introduce to you the junior class president, Miss Crystal. His court started on the year. My pleasure to welcome you to a very, very special occasion in the life of Robertsdale High School, and that is the naming of Mr. and Ms. RHS. I want to first say something to the seniors. Seniors, I think you all know what I feel and what I think about Robertsdale High School and how great it is. And I have observed your class coming up as a ninth grader right on through to the senior class. And you have shown tremendous leadership, your attitude as a class as a whole, and your contribution to our great Robertsdale High School has been just wonderful. You are a fantastic class. You got something to be proud of, and you need to remember all the memories that you are experiencing right now, tonight, and all the different events that's going to occur in the next few weeks in your life. But it's just a pleasure for me to be part of the greatest high school in the world. That's Robertsdale High School, and you are a cause of it being so great. With that said, I also want you to understand that the students that I call out tonight are the students that's being recognized of something that I feel can be, there can be nothing any better than being part of the court of Robertsdale High School for Mr. and Ms. RHS. These honorees were selected by the entire student body. That's what makes it so special. So, it is now my pleasure and tremendous honor to announce the 2002 Mr. and Ms. RHS Court. As I said earlier, this court was selected by the entire student body, and it is indeed an honor to have been selected. The winners, that is Mr. and Ms. RHS, for 2002, which I will announce shortly, were selected by you, the senior class of 2002. I will now introduce to you the court. Miss Kara Biggs. Kara is escorted by Mr. Evan Watson. Miss Kristen Duffy. Kristen is escorted by Mr. Joe Boyington. Miss Jana Jackson. Jana is escorted by Mr. Brandon Gill. Miss Marie Pace. Marie is escorted by Mr. Joseph Murphy. Miss Starla Patterson. Starla is escorted by Mr. Brandon Alexander. We need to, if we would just applause and disarm them, okay? Thank you. Miss Megan Phillips. Megan is escorted by Mr. Ron Nelson. Miss Stephanie Salter. Stephanie is escorted by Mr. J.J. Darby. Miss Devin Thames. Devin is escorted by Mr. Darius Anderson. And the last couple is Miss Brooke Toller. Brooke is escorted by Mr. Obi Trotter. We indeed have a special pleasure in that we have returning to crown this year's winner is Miss and Mr. RHS of 2001. If we can get them out. We welcome the 2001 Mr. and Ms. RHS. They are Miss RHS of 2001, Selena Waters, who is escorted by Mr. RHS of 2001, Mr. Joey Rogers. Let's give him a round of applause. All right, you get your pictures. Now, it is my pleasure to announce the winner is Mr. Grant. Hand me the envelope. I will announce Mr. RHS first. Mr. RHS of 2002 is Brandon Alexander. And to join him is Miss RHS for 2002 is Kara Biggs. Let's give the entire court and Mr. and Ms. RHS a big round of applause. Good job, good job. The court will now, if you will ease down, the next dance is for you. Oh yeah! Look at that! This dance is for the court. We will get them started and then I will ask you to join in with their dancing. Congratulations, Mr. and Ms. RHS. Go Bears!